Hello, good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Mom.
Wow, welcome to today's class. Yeah, I think we are like 7. Should we wait for at least 3 people before we start? Our class rep, what do you think? Should we wait for like 3 people before we start?
Yes, let's wait for like 3 people.
Should we wait? No one is talking.
Yes. I say let's wait for like 3 people.
Okay. Let's wait. Let's see. Just wait for like 3 people. Okay. Class captain, how many are we? Class leader, rather. How many are we now? Are we
are
up
just
to 10?
9. We
9,
are
remain
just
1 person.
8.
8.
Please, the person bearing user, please, can you rename yourself?
Is that not Grace? Okay.
I don't know, but I'm seeing user there.
Yeah. The person should do the needful, please. And that person should mute his mic also. Who is that user? Please, that user should change to his own name or her name.
Sorry, Ma, I think you are the user.
Okay. There's no. Let me see if I'm the user. Yeah, can you all hear me now? Hello?
Yes, we
Can
can
you?
hear you.
Okay, are we up to 10?
No, we are 8.
Ah, this one that everybody didn't want to come to class today. What happened? Is it that they are in transit or what? Or they are still at work? Okay. Maybe if you just start because my system is already running. I don't know. I should have like 1 hour and some minutes. Okay. Concerning the last class, I sent a link to the group for us to watch a social engineering that actually took place. So, and I said I'm going to ask each and every one of us this week, what did you notice? How can it be prevented? Or what are those things you took notice of? So I think I want us to talk one after the other. And when you want to talk, let me know the person that is talking. Okay, go ahead. So who is going first? Hello, can you hear me, please? No one is talking. Let's see. Can you hear me, please?
Good evening, ma'am. I can hear you.
Good. Okay, go ahead.
My name is Sudoka.
Okay.
I couldn't find the link anyway, but I watched it
And
once.
okay.
So from what I understood, um, if I were to be the man, if I was the man anyway, I wouldn't have. If I have any issue regarding to my bank and I got an email, I think the first thing I should have done was to go physical by going to the bank directly
Okay.
and then get everything fixed
Okay.
rather than releasing my details online.
Okay. Good. Wes, thank you for that. That's what should be done. You know, if somebody calling you, asking you to send this, send that, and the person tried to trick you to reveal all your sensitive information, your personal data. So that is what should be done. The man should go to maybe any of his bank, go there physically, talk with his bank manager, see them at the bank, and every necessary thing that they need. He can then provide it for them. So who else wants to speak?
Yeah, I just want to add to what he said concerning
Okay.
the man. So I feel most times when we get like messages like that, or when we are sent a link that we should click so we can provide such information, it is good to actually verify the link. For example, they could send you like a link www.accessbank at l.com, something like that, and you realize that maybe the original Access Bank website is small letter L, and on the website you are seeing the big letter L. So errors like that, they use it to like trick you, so you will not know the difference. You just think, oh, it's a normal website. So I think we need to be aware of spellings, things like that, before you know that, oh, this is a legit source. And regardless, even if it's a legit source, the bank has told us that they don't ask us for details like that. Nobody should send you something like that and you give such information. So I think that's what I have to add concerning that.
Okay, thank you, Prince. Who else? Who else want to talk? 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 Should I start calling us one after the other? Hmm? Should I start calling us?
Hello,
Yeah, hello.
good evening.
Hello, yeah. I'm
My name
Chief.
is
Well,
Chiamaka
actually,
Sorry,
everyone,
Chiamaka. Sorry, we should let Chiamaka talk first. Okay, go ahead, Chiamaka.
Okay, just to add to what they said, in a situation whereby, because I watched the video and the video was about a man who lost his ATM card and he started receiving messages and calls concerning his bank because he was surprised how the bank even knew that he had lost his ATM card. So for me, I would have called my bank in a situation like that because first of all, there is no how your bank will know if you lost your ATM card or not. But they can also notify you if somebody is trying to access your bank details or your card. So in a situation like that, I would have browsed out my main bank customer care number, or look for how to get the customer care number and call them to verify if they are the ones getting in contact with me to give out my details to know if they're actually the ones or not, just to verify.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. That's fine. Then Olowu.
yeah, I think everyone has spoken and as regards the video, but I would say that we have one time or the other been a victim of such, though maybe our bank accounts or details have not been hacked yet, but we should just be patient and be careful and attentive when we receive any email, or especially I notice especially our old people in Nigeria, they just send them a video or a link on WhatsApp. They tell you to share it with 50 people and all these things. It contains
Yeah.
phishing and spams in those links. So once you click it, unknowingly to you, you think there's nothing wrong, but you might not know in the nearest weeks or future there will be problem. And if you notice that kind of trend, you see most people's Facebook account has been hacked because of those clicking of those links or sharing those links. So we should just be attentive and patient and verify any link. As for me, ever since I've been in learning about cybersecurity, if you send me any link, I'll share it with 10 people. I delete it immediately. I don't even bother to click
Wow.
it or something. So yeah, just
Yeah.
prevent. Yeah, thank you.
Great. Yeah, thank you. I think everybody has spoken well. Now, these people will always try. One thing cybersecurity will do to you is that it will make you to suspect everything and everyone. Did you hear me? Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Cybersecurity. Even if you see legit link, maybe the mail or anything is coming from even a legit source, you still have doubt. Like you just have to check it again and again because that's one of those things that cybersecurity will do to you as from now. No, you suspect everything and everyone said, "Go, you are not sure they are suspect." Now, when things like that, one of those things we should be conscious of that. When we see sometimes maybe through mail, the email that is sent, maybe he just sent from a public email, or it may be an email that anything, or if you receive an email or a call asking you for sensitive information, just like Ziprints or Ulu, I didn't even know, that said what you should do is just hold on and verify. Even Chiamaka said it, go to your bank and verify. Anything that is asking you for your detail, your sensitive information, just make sure that you go to your bank, verify, don't click on it, don't answer it, or it may actually, that kind of a link may actually make you to panic. Maybe like do this is between this so time. Maybe they give you like 30 minutes to get back to them. Anything that is trying to put you to panic, any mail, any call that is making you to panic, suspect that kind of a call that makes you, okay, give us, we are trying to get this on your system, on our system, blah, 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 blah. Send this in the next 10 minutes, in the next 20 minutes. know that, be suspicious, know that that kind of a call or a mail is fishy. Try and verify very well, or any email attachment. Or also check the spelling, grammars, because some, instead of the way they will write it, grammatical error. So check it also. Bad grammar is one of the easiest way to recognize a phishing email. So because those guys, they don't have patience like that. Most of the legitimate one are well written. But for those of scammer, they are not really professional writer. You know, they just want to steal your sensitive information. They just want to steal your data, so they don't have that time, luxury time. So their grammars are not well written. And also, any suspicious link, don't click on it. As Olowa said, don't click on it, don't repost it, don't repost it. Now, another thing is that any mail that says you want to win a lottery or you have won a lottery, blah 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 blah, be conscious and be suspicious that that kind of a mail is not legit. And also, it can be a mail from government agency. Just know that those kind of mail, they are just suspect it before you click on anything. So as from now, even if a mail is coming from a legit source, you know, as a cybersecurity, you have to go through it again and again and again before you click to. So I think that's that about that. Thank you, everyone. Now let's go to today's class. I want to finish something last week, and we are going to dive into network security today. Network security. Now, okay, let me share my screen for everybody to see. Can you all see my screen? Can you see my screen?
No, we cannot. No.
Can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay. I just pray this is our time because I have a lot to say, but this, I'm having issues with light here. Okay, now, you know, last week I talked about Mac OS. Anyone, some people call it Mac, but it's Mac OS. Now, I talked about Linux and I talked about Windows. Now there's another one, the iOS. How many people know iOS? Can you give me an example of a device that use an iOS?
Android phone.
No.
iPhone.
Apple
iPhone.
phone.
How do you
iPhone. Thank you. Is that Chiamaka?
Yes.
Your Apple, yeah, your Apple system, your iPhone, yeah. So they use iOS. Now, one of the thing you need to look out for, the vulnerability that comes with this iOS, is what we call malware, phishing attacks also, and other third-party vulnerabilities. Now, and how can you safeguard your iOS? Now, keep your operating system and all apps up to date. Only download apps from an official app store. Enable and configure your device passcode and touch ID or face ID, anyone. Then also make sure that you enable Find My Track and remote wipe on your device. Now be cautious to click any link in mails or in messages, and also regulate your device. And the next one is the Android. Now, most of us use Android. A lot of people use Android because Android is, is cheaper. It's cheaper than Apple phone. Now, one of the vulnerability also is still the same thing as the iOS. So we have the malware, the phishing attack, and vulnerabilities in other party app. Now, what are the best practice to keep your iPhone or your Android phone? Now we have, make sure that your operating system, all app on your phone are up to date. You know, there are sometimes maybe you can get a message from what's it called, maybe you are using OPay. OPay will ask you to update or WhatsApp or Telegram, any of these apps can tell you to update your app. Why? Because they have seen some vulnerability in it that can be, that attacker can actually use. So that's why they have come up with a new patch and actually fix some bugs in their app. So that's why they ask you to update your device, your application. Now also download apps from a trusted source, just like Google Play Store. Also enable and configure your device passcode and biometrics, and also enable Google Play Protect from malware scanning. So don't just click. And the last one, don't click on any links or messages. So that is that about that. And let's go to today. So I wanted to come with a slide with a picture, but I'm having issues with light in my area, seriously. So I just have to quickly do this. Okay, now we are going to network security. Hope you can all see my slide, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Now I'm going to talk about this maybe later, but let me just finish because I'm going to talk about I was talking about TCP and IP. So I'm going to talk more about it, but let's start from network. Let's talk about network security today. Now, when you hear network security, we'll be talking about networking, devices connected to each other. Now, how can you, and I told you that network, try to, all they do is just like they allow you to send message and to receive message. And I told you that in between it, a lot of things happen that is not feasible, things that you can't just see. Now, how do you now protect? How do you safeguard your network now? Now, network security encompasses of all steps, like every steps you need to take in your computer network and the data within it. So network security is important because it helps you to keep your data safe. Now, the reason why you're actually securing your network is that so that your sensitive data can be safe from cyber attack. And also it ensures that your network is usable and trustworthy. So it ensures the reason why you're actually protecting your network security. What is it all about? Network security is just about keeping your sensitive data safe from cyber attack and to ensure that your network is usable and trustworthy. Do you get that? Hello? Do you get that? Do you get that?
No, ma'am. Ma'am, can you please
Yes.
repeat?
Should I repeat myself?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Hope my voice is audible because I'm trying to speak at very loud here. Now, we are talking about network security. I said network security actually has to do with steps you need to take to protect the integrity of your system, your computer network. Now, network security is important. Why? Because you need to keep your sensitive data from cyber attack, and also to ensure that your network is usable and trustworthy. Let me repeat myself again. I say network security has to do with all the steps, it encompasses of all the steps you need to take to protect the integrity of your computer network and the data within it. So you are trying to protect your computer network and the data that is inside your network. Now, why do you need to protect your network? I said so that you can keep your sensitive data from cyber attack and also to ensure that your network is usable and trustworthy. Now, so if you have the reason why we have network security is to make sure that our sensitive data is kept from cyber attack and also our network is usable and trustworthy. Do you get that? Do you get that, please, before I move on?
Yes.
Okay. Now, let's go to the next one. Now, let's talk of why is network security important. Now, the reason why we need to protect our security, like I said, your sensitive data. Now, when I talked about sensitive data, number one, we have the operational risk. Now, most of these, for example, some of us are using Access Bank. Some of us are using GT Bank now. If anything happens to our data, it's going to affect these companies or these banks. Maybe you have your data with, for most of us, we have that data with banks. A lot of us are using banks. We have app, we have our data with them. So if anything happens to them, we have what we call, for them, it's going to be an operational risk. So an organization without inadequate network security will risk disruption in its operation. So it will make them to stop working. Maybe most of your personal data, attacker were able to hack their database, and a lot of people were affected. That can actually make the bank close for a while before they begin operation. So it's going to affect their operation. It's going to stop their operation, their day-to-day operation. So because without it, they cannot function effectively. So it may be business, it may be a personal, it may be businesses, large one, or a personal network, because every network, every operation depends on devices and software to make it easy for them to run effectively. So if their system is compromised and you're compromised on their system, there's no way they can actually work effectively. Maybe their system is affected. Maybe their system is compromised by virus, and everything is wiped out rather. So there is no way they can actually, continue the day-to-day operation, because all their data is gone. So it's going to stop them. And also maybe malware or any other cyber attack. So that is why it's going to, one of the reasons why we need network security is important, is operational risk. And another one is what we call financial risk for compromise personally identifiable information. We call it PII, personally or personal identifiable information. Now, data breach can be expensive. For example, now, if maybe for those of us that have NHIS, that have our data with the health sector, the NHIS. Now, for example, now, if anything happens to your data, if there's any compromise in your data, you are going to be affected, and also the health sector system also is going to be affected. How? Now, any organization that is handling your personal identifiable information, like now, maybe for those of us that are using NHIS now, anything that happens to your system, to your data rather, is going to affect not only you, but also the business also. Now, when we hear PII, it's just a representation of your system that permits your identity. So it can be your name. Do you get me? It can be your passport number. And you know how passport number is very, very important. It can be your driver license. Are you getting me? It can be your NIN or patient identification number, or your financial bank account number, or your credit card, or your street address, your email address, or your telephone number. So that is what we call PII, because your phone number is different from my phone number. That is why it is peculiar to me, and you have your own peculiar, your personal, what we can use to identify you. So if every of these things, that is what we call the sensitive data. If any of these things is actually tampered with, now exposure Nigeria, if anything like that happen, because we don't have a government, let me just use it. Our government is not really functioning. So if anything happen to any of these data, with whosoever, firm or complaints or sector that have this your personal identifiable information, anyone that in any way there is compromise, it can cost, it will definitely cost the company its reputation, and that kind of company through which your personal data is actually exposed is going to, is going to face the lawsuit. It's going to face the lawsuit. So they are going to go face the lawsuit. So that is that. Now, let's talk about the third one. Now we have the financial risk for compromised intellectual property. Now, when we talk about intellectual property, can you give me an example of your intellectual property? Yeah. What is have you heard about intellectual property before? Have you heard about intellectual property before? Hello, are you all with me? That person should mute his mic, please. Now, when you hear something about, when you hear intellectual property has to do with maybe your idea, your trademark, what make you who you are, or what make your company what it is. Are you getting me? Maybe it can be your design, it can be your logo. Are you getting what I'm saying? For example, now, these days, there is a lot of fake products in the market. For example, it is recently that a lot of people actually realize that most of the items they've been buying from the market are fake. That's where we got to know there is fake Coca-Cola, fake milk. Are you get what I'm saying? So those are those men. Sorry, can you hear me? Can you hear me, please? Or should I repeat myself? Can you all hear me, please? Okay. So I'm talking about the intellectual property now. Now, intellectual property has to do with anything that makes you, stand out. Things that pertains to you. Things, a set of, intangibilities, things that is owned by you. Now, and I said part of hello, can you tell that person should please mute his mic. So I said a trademark is part of your intellectual property. Now, I talked about maybe your design, logo. Are you getting it? Design, a copyright, your trademark, your trade secret. Now, design, for example, those of us that has brand, our flyers, our design, things that are very peculiar to us. Now, I was now giving an example of picnic. And also Amoy. I used Amoy also myself to cook. It was later when that thing was going on. I used to check anything, anytime I buy maybe anything in the market, I used to check, because of the course I studied. So I actually bought two that day. I checked the first one. I know, okay, this is the real one. So immediately I just took the two. I actually want to buy a dark soy sauce that day. So I took the first one. So I just saw the light. I didn't even bother my mind. I didn't even, because I saw it, because I was thinking it should be the same thing. I've checked the first one, it was Amoy. So I took the second one. I've been using it. It was on social media, when somebody now come out, to tell us that actually this is the particular product you want to buy, this is the particular product. I was like, let me go and check the one I'm using at home. I discovered that one was Amoy, and the second one, that was the light soy sauce, was Amoy. I was like, in my mind, how did I get here? So that's what I was trying to say. So these people, they copied, they want to produce Amoy. Do you get what I'm saying? So they want to steal everything, their intellectual property. So, and that's, which is costly. So any kind of company which is intellectual property is stolen, it can lead to loss of businesses. So that kind of a company, now, for example, maybe people have been buying, Amoyi has been producing, and people have been buying. Those ones that actually has the trademark, the Amoyi, they won't sell, their turnover won't be as before when those people, other people that are actually producing the Amoyi or Amoyis. Are you get what I'm saying? Hello, are you getting me, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
We
okay.
are with you.
Okay, so that's what I'm trying to say. So there will be loss. Now, because their trademark, maybe their trade secret is stolen, so there will be a loss of company ideas and infection. And any product that is coming from, maybe from Moi, now maybe it is they are producing, for example, let me use, maybe they are producing it in Nigeria, that could actually lead to loss of business because they're going to lose business. And also it can be competitive. It can make them to be competitive. There will be a competitive market between Amoyi and Amoyis. So it's just like that. So that's why I said there is going to be a financial risk of compromised intellectual property. Now, the first one is the regulatory issue. So governments require that every businesses comply with the data security regulation that covers the aspect of the network security. Now, in the US, medical organization in the US, they comply with what we call EPA, Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act. That's EPA. For those of us that want to go into GRC, we must really know about this later. Now, and the GDPR. Now, that's why I said Nigeria, we have rule, the ones we are actually complying to in Nigeria, but Nigeria, we don't really have leaders. They are not even complying, they are not even enforcing anything. But in countries where they have, where they have really have where their government are really working, where they have a structure, a system that is working. Now, so for the US, we have what we call EPA, Health Insurance Portability and Accountability. So it ensures that every health sector that is using a person health information, that is using your personal information, complies with this EPA. So, and anyone who doesn't comply is going to face the lawsuit. Now, and also we have the GDPR. That one is General Data Protection Regulation. That one is in the, in the UK, the Western region. Now, any violation of this regulation can lead to fine. They can ban that company, or they can jail maybe the owner, anyone that is involved. Now, that is why security is actually important. Now, let's look at how does your network security work. Now, network security is enforced using a combination of your hardware and your software. When we talk about network, we have the hardware and we have the software tools. Now, the primary goal of network security is to prevent unauthorized access. That person should mute his mic, please. The primary goal of network security is to prevent unauthorized access into or between parts of a network. That person should mute his mic, please. I don't want to repeat myself. Now, let's go to why. Okay.
So the primary goal is to prevent unauthorized access
into or between parts of a network. Do you get that? The primary goal of network security is to prevent unauthorized access into your system or between parts of a network. Is that clear? Do you get that?
Yes,
Now,
ma'am.
let's go to the next one. Now, we have types of network security software and tools. Number one, we have the access control. We are trying to protect, measures to put in place to protect our network. So we have software and we have tools we can actually use to protect our network. Number one, we have access control. Now, this method limits
Sorry, ma. I don't understand. Is it method or types?
Types of network security software and tools. Do you get that? Do you get that,
Yes, ma'am.
please? Okay, fine. Let me know so I can continue. I said we have access control. So this method limits access to a network application and system in a specific group of users and devices. Now, for example, for those of us that are working maybe on a system in our office, now there are some privileges that your bosses have that you don't have. Let me use that example so that you can get what I'm talking about. Now, some people maybe in your place of work, for those that are working in an organization or in a company or anywhere or any firm. Now, we have what we call access control. What this access control is trying to do is that not every one of you can have access to the same devices or resources or to the system. Now, this method, what it does is just that it limits the access of people, of users to a network application or to system. So that's why it denies some people and actually it authorizes some people. So anyone that is not accessed, that is not given access, that is not authorized, cannot have access to the device or to any resources. That was what we call the access control. Now, so there are some, maybe you are working as a cashier or let me just use, or you are the, what's it called? What do we call this in bank? Just tell me those people that works in bank. I'm trying to, apart from the cashier, teller, or those or the HR teller. Tell me another one, please. Tell me another one. Customer care. Yeah, I want to talk about customer care. Yeah, thank you. Now, the teller, the customer care, and the bank manager, they have different roles and they have different privileges. Did you get that? Now, there are some things that a teller can authorize, can do. And there are some things that a teller may want to do that they have to be authorized by the bank manager before they can have access to that resources. So that's what we call access control. So if they are not authorized, they can't gain access to that device or to that resources. Now, so that is why we have access control, in order to, to secure our network resources or network security. Now, we have another one that we call antivirus or anti-malware. Now, antivirus or anti-malware, they are just software designed to detect and to remove or prevent viruses and malware, such as Trojan horse, ransomware, the spyware, from infecting your computer and consequently a network. Now, this antivirus and anti-malware, they just try to prevent your network from getting harmed. They try to prevent your network from viruses or malware. So they guide it anywhere they see any virus, they detect it and they remove it from your system. So it means that by using antivirus and anti-malware, you can safeguard your network being compromised. Now we have the application security, we have the behavioral analytics, and we have the cloud security. Because they are much, but I'm going to send this to your, what's it called, to you, so that you can actually go over it. Now, continuation. So another one, we have the data loss prevention, the LDP. What they just do is that they try to detect and they prevent data breaches. DLP means data loss prevention. So there are tools that monitor data in use, data in motion, and data at rest. Do you remember the types of data that we have? The data, oh yeah, do you remember? You know, I said it at the first class. The data in use, or the data in motion at transit, or the data at rest. Now, what this data loss prevention does is that it tries to all your data in these three states. They try to prevent it from data breaches so that nothing happens to your data. Maybe you are sending out or you are storing. Are you getting me? Or you are receiving. So it makes sure that your data is not compromised. There's no data breaches. So that is why we need to, we need to train we as cybersecurity, we need to be trained so that we can protect data. We are trained so that we can protect data. And also that's why complaints also, sometimes they get cybersecurity experts to come to their company in order to create awareness from their staffs also on the best practice to use. Now, and we have another one, we have the email security. Email is one of the most vulnerable points in a network. Now, employee can become a victim. Now, when you are working in a company or in an organization, when an employee, somebody click a phishing link, and that link install a malware, and there's a malware attack. That malware attack, without the person knowing, and maybe the person is still trying to send, you are trying to send data, you're trying to send messages to other people, other employee in your organization. So that can actually cost more than you can think of through a phishing link. So it can cause all the system in a department to be infected, maybe by a malware attack, because somebody click a phishing link and everyone is affected because that phishing link has actually installed a malicious software into your system. So that all the system in that department can be compromised. And if it is compromised, everything is gone. Now we have the firewall. I think I talked about this. I'm not going to talk about it again. Last time we have the intrusion detection system, IDS. So IDS, what it does is a software. Now, what it does that it detects unauthorized access, attempting to get access into a system. Now, IDS, it detects unauthorized access that try to attempt and flag them as potential dangerous. Now, what is that? Maybe, for example, now, maybe you are trying to visit a website. You are trying to visit a website and maybe you forgot your password and you have been trying. In that complaint, what it will happen is that they will know that somebody is trying to log in. Are you getting what I'm saying? That person is trying to log in. So they may think that what's it called? Is an attacker or a criminal that is trying to do this, because normal, everybody should remember their password, their pins and everything. And like that. So if you are trying to log into a system, forget your password, you keep trying it, you keep trying it, you keep trying it. What will happen is that from there, at their back end, they are going to send a message. Maybe if you are the true owner, that somebody is trying to access, your system. Are you the one or not? Or maybe Google now, forgot your password, they are trying to log in and you didn't get, and you forgot your password and you kept on trying. You just receive a mail, or you want to, you enter your password, your email on your system, not on your phone. Now, Google will send you a message that somebody is trying to log into your blah, blah. Are you getting it? Is it if yes or no? So that if it is not you, so that they can, from their hand, block such person. So that's why immediately you are trying to access a system, IDS from the end will try to flag you as potential dangerous person or attacker, a criminal. This is just dangerous. It will flag you because you are trying, because it is an armed robber or an attacker. I used to call them sometimes armed robber. They want to rob us. So attackers, criminals, hackers that tries to do that. So they will just flag you from that end. But it does not remove them. Are you getting it? That's the difference. We have intrusion prevention system and we have the intrusion detection system. Now, the difference there is, one is detection, one is prevention. Now, the intrusion detection system, that one will not remove it. Do you get it? But it will detect it. It will flag it as dangerous. So now, if we want to use IDS, what happens is that they use IDS with IPS. Both of it must be used together and in a combination with a firewall. So intrusion prevention system is more or less like the intrusion detection system. In intrusion prevention system, rather, it is designed to prevent intrusion by detecting and blocking unauthorized access, attempt to access a network. I said intrusion detection system, it will only flag you as being dangerous. It will flag any potential, anyone that is trying to to gain unauthorized access to any system. It will flag it as potential dangerous, but it will not remove it. But in intrusion prevention system, that one will detect it and it will block the unauthorized attempt to attempt to access a network. Do you get the difference between them? Do you get the difference between them now? I said one will detect and will not remove it. That's the intrusion detection system. One will detect and it will prevent it. One will prevent intrusion by detecting it. It will detect it and it will block unauthorized attempt to access a network system. And we have the mobile device security. Now, the last one I'm going to talk about, we have the VPN. Now, VPN, virtual private network, that's what we call virtual private network, the VPN. Now, it secures the connection from an endpoint to an organization network. For people that are working remotely, so they must use VPN so that hackers will not gain unauthorized access to the company's data that they are managing. Now, so we use VPN. Mostly everyone that is working remotely must use VPN in order to secure their network. Now, VPN is just a connection. It secure the connection from an endpoint. You are working with a company and you in your house, maybe that's where you are working. So it secure the connection from an endpoint to an organization network. Now, VPN allow employee to access the company network remotely. So that's what VPN does. Now we have the web security and we have the SIEMs and we have the multi-factor authentication. Now I'm going to send this later because my battery is running. Now, what are the challenges of network security? Now, we know that as we are trying to prevent unauthorized access to our information, our sensitive data, hackers also are, they are evolving. So evolving network attack method also, we too, we must evolve, because these attackers or these hackers, they are not, they are not resting. So we too, we must improve every day. So that is one of the challenges of network security. Technology is evolving every day. So as technology is evolving, what you are using, or the software or the tools you're actually using to secure your network at a particular time, may not be able to secure the network again, because technology has evolved. And so also are these criminals also, they are also evolving. So, and there are new threats every day. So that's one of the challenges of securing networks. Now, the second one is user adherence. Now, in an organization, security is every network user responsibility. Now, if security is every user of network responsibility, sometimes it can be difficult for organizations to ensure that everybody is adhering to network security best practice. Maybe now they tell you, okay, well, before you leave the office, log out, somebody might forgot. Maybe something happens, somebody might forgot, or any practice that is just put in place. So not complying, adhering to the best practice also is actually one of the challenges we face in order to manage our networks, and also remote and mobile access. Now, most companies, they adopt the BYOD policy. Now, what we mean by BYOD policy is bring your own device. BYOD, bring your own device. Now, for people that are working remotely, if the company they are working with is not in Nigeria, maybe is abroad, they have to use their system, and that's one of the problem of network security. Now, because some company, they say you should bring your own device, you should work with your own system. So that can actually be a challenge, because you are not working within the organization, we are working from home. So, and if you're a remote worker, you can be, prone to, to all the cyber threats. So because you are using your own network, maybe you are not using the system, the company's network, and maybe your own network is not secure, it can affect all the company information they are trying to secure online. So that is why bring your own device is one of the challenges we face, because a lot of people, they are relaxed because they are working from home. So a lot of people doesn't comply to the company's policy like that. Even if it is 10/10, some can actually, comply to 8, or some to 9/10. Because you are working from home, you are more relaxed, and you may even forget to do one or two things. But if you are working in a company, you can still comply to everything. But because you are working from home, and if you are not complying to the policy, you can be prone to cyber threats. And the third one is the third party partners. You have the cloud providers, those ones that manage security service and product. The vendors, sometimes they get access to the organization network. So, and that can actually be a new potential vulnerabilities. Now, let's go to network layer. Yeah, this is what I want to talk about actually. So, okay. Now, last week I said we have I talked about the TCP/IP model. Now, in the TCP/IP model, we have what we call different layer through which our data actually is being passed, used, and run on the system. Now for this TCP, hello, before I go, did everybody get my explanation for the previous slide? Do you all get my explanation for the previous slide? If I move here, please. Thank God, NEPA brought light.
Yeah, we got the explanation, but I've been want to tell you that your screen have not been sliding. It has been on iOS and Android explanation since.
My screen has been on what rather?
That first page, iOS and Android.
Are you
explanation.
serious?
Yes,
Sorry.
ma'am.
Yes,
Oh,
ma'am.
sorry.
Yes,
Oh,
ma.
God.
That's why we
Sorry.
did not talk because you said you were going to send
Ah,
us like the
the
notes after the
material.
class.
So, right. Can you see it now?
No.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
No,
I'm so
ma.
sorry. Somebody should have. Oh, God. And are you serious? Oh, my.
And we
Ma,
will
you
not
can
bother
still
because
Can
send
you
us
see
the
it now?
material now.
you send the material.
You
Okay,
can still
I'm
send us the
I'm going to
material
send the material.
Okay, ma.
Okay,
Yes,
so
I'm
we
that
are
we
I'm
with you
can
now.
copy it down
Can
and
you
write
see
it
it
out
now?
as
You
notes.
serious? I've been talking.
Yes.
Yes, we are
Ah.
with you now.
But I think my suggestion would be like, why not like send us the material beforehand, like before the class,
The
so that
class.
we can read up, know what we are
Okay.
like, so that
Okay.
why
Okay, fine. You know what? This is what we are going to do. Hello, can you hear me?
just simply explaining everything
Yes,
to us
ma'am.
and it will be
Okay, that's what you guys want, right? All
Yes,
right,
ma'am.
fine.
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, no problem. I'm going to send this when we finish the class because I'm going to send all this. I'm going to send all this when we finish the class. Okay. I'm going to give us some assignment, and when we are going through the assignment, there are still some courses you will still come across some things we have actually discussed in class, but it's going to broaden your knowledge about teacher. So I'm going to send it this for today, but for the previous one, I'm going to send it maybe prior so that, or I can give as an assignment to to assess a room on TryAcme, and complete those rooms. So I think that's okay. I'm almost done. Okay. Now let me just say let me just, before I go to this TCP, now I want to talk about this TCP/IP. I want to talk about this. But I'm going to give you an assignment today. You are going to complete a room on TryAcme, and you will see some of these things, but I'm going to send this to you, these resources, this material to you so that you can read, and also you're still going to complete the TryAcme. You're still going to see all these things there also. So I think let me come to the end of today's class, if that is what you guys want. Okay. Now, hope you can all hear me now, all what I've been saying. Can you all hear me, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So let's bring this to a stop. So I'll stop sharing my screen now. So I'm going to just send you the material I'm going to send it the material to, should I send it to Telegram, or I should drop it on the classroom? Should I drop it? Where should I drop it for you
Telegram
guys?
will be better. Telegram.
Telegram will be better, not in the Google Classroom. Okay, fine. Is that what everybody wants? Everybody should talk. Oh, okay.
Telegram is
Okay, Telegram is fine.